Hello and welcome to Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel, where I try to inspire people to add cool plants and edible things to their backyard, to their lives. We're looking at a robolini, a dwarf date palm, which is absolutely producing a ton of viable seeds. Pretty high germination rate on the robolinis. Lots of videos on the channel about that if you're curious. Please go check it out. Well, this is mostly an update of what's going on. Lots has been going on lately. I've actually been enjoying the gigantic surf of Hurricane Larry. We like these hurricanes that just stay way out in the middle of the ocean. First on, welcome to the live stream. So this is an update. One of the biggest updates is quite simply the fact that we are in the eggs now. And I'm not sure if we have any eggs in there now, but I'd say we've gotten about 12 eggs, probably a dozen eggs so far in 3 or 4 days. I think only a couple of these little hens are laying. The Rhode Island Red hybrids, as I like to call them, were the first ones to give eggs. And I'm pretty sure they're the only ones laying eggs. The Barred Rock hens seem to be, even though they're larger, kind of maturing a little more slowly. By that I mean their crowns are a little less well developed. Whereas the Rhode Island Reds, no, nothing in there yet. Oh, this is incredible. My chickens have started to lay golf balls, which are much more valuable than eggs. Now, we put the golf balls in there just to let all the chickens know that's where we lay golf ball shaped things, roughly speaking. And just saw this somewhere on the internet. You know, people were saying to throw some golf balls in there. So we had some golf balls laying around and I put them in there. You can see I used the fine pine shavings for their nesting boxes. That's been working out really well. Went over to Tractor Supply, grabbed a bale of that stuff. And they have not dropped even one turd into their nesting boxes, knock on wood. They will never do that. This is part of a long, graduated approach to getting to this point where I had this blocked off and they've been able to see this area their whole lives. And then I put the golf balls, but it was behind a cage. And then when I found their first egg laid under a bush, I put these golf balls in here and I let them look at that for a day and a half, 2 days. And then I took off the cage and they immediately went to laying eggs in there. So yesterday we got 3 eggs out of there, and I think that's 3 eggs with 3 chickens laying eggs currently. I'm going to show you some other cool stuff that I've done related to the old chicken coop. How you doing, girls? How you doing, ladies? Excuse me, ladies. Oh, they're doing quite well. They've been out this morning to forage for bugs in their chicken run. So they're pretty mellow right now. As long as you give them a little time out, they seem to be. Chicken penitentiary, yeah, chicken prison. No, it's not that bad. They don't mind being cooped at all. At least that's the theory. Excuse me, I want to show this recent thing that I made. Look at this. So once they started to lay eggs, I decided I need to make sure they have the supplements that give them great egg potential. And I'm already feeding them the grubs. That's one thing, a lot of calcium in the black soldier fly larvae that I feed them. But I also wanted to make sure they're getting 2 other key ingredients, which was the, first of all, calcium, and then the other one is just granite and oyster shells. Combination. How should I cure cow manure to feed bananas. Yeah, I would put it in a compost heap. I think it's the best way, rather than adding it directly to the soil, since or buy the composted cow manure. But but the cow manure is so shallow in its nutrient content that I just it's almost like, why bother? Get some horse chicken manure is a very hot one too, so I always make sure I'm gonna compost their manure, but they certainly produce plenty of it. But yeah, so I just took these 2-inch pipes. You can see how I did the connector system. Just very simple, just a few wires to connect it to that beam, and it speaks for itself. And then we just fill it up, and it's gravity fed. All cows and cotton. Well, then you got to use what you got. And if it's fresh cow manure, I think will be the best thing we're getting from cows. Whatever, anything's better than what you get in that bagged stuff at the store. But yeah, if you can find a one horse owner, it's a beautiful thing. Or get some bunnies. Holy moly. Oh, look at that. We've got these girls are going, but my water is empty. The water up in the coop is full, of course, but sometimes that little one, maybe that little one goes dry. Maybe I'll let these they're pecking at my ankles. And we're trying to get to know when exactly they lay eggs. And whoa, it seems like in the morning they've been laying eggs, which is why I kind of like to keep them in here, because if I put them out in their free range setup, I'm a little bit worried they'll lay an egg in back in the free range area, like their first few eggs. Wow, Musa velutina is a pink banana. That's really cool. I hadn't heard of that. I wonder where you would be able to get that variety. I may have to search that out. And hey, Palm Nation, that's a great comment. If you wouldn't mind, throw that in the comment for this video, the Musa velutina, and I'll look into it, because yeah, I'm definitely expanding my banana grove now. And speaking of manure, I've got a bunch of bunny manure that is in need of harvesting. Look at this. This is going to be a little bit gross, but for those of us who love permaculture, holy mackerel, it's the treasure. I'm definitely overdue. That's what happens when surfing a lot, but looks like it got a little rain on it too. But those little bunny pellets are ready to put around anything. And that is gold, absolute gold. And that's produced by 2 little bunnies. Maybe I'll let those out too. Oh, look at this thing I bought, impulse buy. Yeah, I'm stoked on it though. I had a really bad back injury years ago surfing, and I mostly recovered from it, but my back has never been the same. But the point is, I am not in the category of, I shouldn't be lifting anything super heavy directly or carrying it for long distances, yet I still do. I always pay the price for it. But so I bought this little cart. It's been great. Nothing else, novelty, just to tow stuff around. It's big enough that I can throw like a 40-pound bag of whatever in it, like the potting soil, or when I say 40-pound bag, I mean just the size bags they sell at these chain stores of wood chips or whatever, and I don't have to haul it around. I almost got a wheelbarrow, but this is so much more functional for me than a wheelbarrow, just because it stays flat. So you can see I just took this mango, likely a Tommy Atkins mango, I hope it is. Threw so many seeds that sprouted this year that I'm not sure what's what, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to grow some of these for rootstock, and then I'll graft on rather once it gets wide enough and get some woodiness to it, I'll graft on a cutting of a good variety. By the way, I am now up to 4 mango trees. Eat Your Backyard has a new mango tree, and don't tell my wife, but I think we might be going up to 5 pretty soon. I got the mango fever, and I'm a hardcore believer, which means I'm going to be a mango tree receiver. At some point. I'll show you my new mango tree. By the way, we've got mango trees growing out of our ears practically here. Look at all these. By the way, here's my compost setup. Simple. Approximately $15 for this at the Lowe's. I think I got it, and you just connect it together to make a hoop. It's animal wire. You can see the type that I use. Pretty common. I use it also for the rabbit cage, and man, it just works so great. Oh no, your dad's back is jacked, huh? In Arkansas. Wow, sorry to hear about your dad. But yeah, the back injuries, they can just change your way of living, that's for sure. I find the thing that helps me the most is to just be mindful of the fact that I can't do all the, I shouldn't lift those things. I shouldn't go on a long run. All the things, my doctor told me to do, I should do those things basically. And so spending $100 on that cart thing or whatever is one good way, because half the time it's just like in old habits of doing stuff in ways that never used to get you hurt. The other thing is core strength. To stay fit, core strength surfing does that for me for sure. And keep the weight in the BMI for your normal weight. If you can keep your weight there. For me, if my weight is outside of my BMI, my back is constantly hurting. Wow, yeah. Holy moly. But look at this. We got the carbon component to composting, which I'm stoked on. I'm gonna start getting into the biochar stuff too, but satisfying sound. But yeah, these are mango branches. This is really labor intensive thing, labor of love, to chop these mango branches up. But I'm on this kick of trying to get use everything my yard's producing. And here, a bunch of mango tree clippings. Normally I would have, last year I would have put these out to the curb, and this whole valuable resource would have been lost. But now I am harvesting it, and I've been trying to use every single piece of it, meaning the leaves, of course, I'm going to use for the chicken free range area back there. I take all these leaves and put them in. I've already done that one time, so it works out really great as a mulch, as a bedding for their free run area. And they compost it, and they'll break it down into soil. It's amazing. And then these large branches is the other thing. What to do with those? Well, the smaller ones I've been, actually chopping into smaller pieces using things like this and larger loppers. But I just basically change them into smaller pieces so that they can decompose a little easier, and then it adds the carbon back in. Oh man, Palm Nation, you're growing those bananas in clay. That is, well, that's definitely an achievement that you can grow them at all in soil like that. That is, yeah, when it's concrete like that. That's one of the, actually you get the benefit of being able to direct water when you have clay, but which we have none. This just goes straight down into the earth. But the bananas definitely love like that loose soil. So what I'm using the branches for is actually as edging around the trees. And I don't have any good examples in the backyard because I put it in the front yard. My yard guys, if I don't have an edge around them, they'll just edge around the bottom of the tree, which is fine, normal. But I don't want that. I don't want them, cutting the bark on any of these fruit trees. So I just cut out the larger branches, and I just make a square around the base of the tree. It's really actually quite useful. And you think of the alternative, because it's a tendency to want to start buying stuff, and that there's really not a need in most cases. in my opinion. It actually looks pretty cool with these mango branches when they're put together like that. But I could go buy concrete and that kind of stuff, and ultimately that isn't unnecessary when I'm getting the resource right here. The chat is really interesting with this YouTube thing, because the message only pops up very quickly and then it goes away and you have to go back to, I wonder if there's a way to show it quickly. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get this. Oh, interesting. A natural sand deposit. Okay, so you have a sand deposit. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, because I don't know how they could grow in anything that resembles concrete, meaning anything that is just packed in. That's very interesting. Yeah, so I'm getting a backlog here. Stunted bananas. Yeah, bonsai bananas. Ever-bearing mulberries all over the place. But I've got a backlog of these branches because it's so tedious to convert them. But I'll get to that. No rush. My shade moringa is growing better than expected. I thought they would require more sun, but it seems to be growing fine, just in that it was more of an experiment to put it there, but it seems to be growing fine. That's all my worm farm food. Put it out and just let it kind of get wet in the rain, and then I'll tear it up and put it in the worm farm. They'll eat all of that. Yeah, you can see as I dig down, there's actually layers of soil that I encounter here. It's a sandbar, right? So whatever they did when they made this lot able to be built on, it's the top layer. And there's kind of a soil-like thing, a loose sandy soil. And then this is what's down about a foot deep. And it's just, pure sand with seashells in it, Look at that. That's the consistency. So this is my little soil staging area, which has been super helpful. Got some nice cuttings of aloe vera. This is the kind they typically use for the medicinal stuff. It's great for us for putting on sunburns, because unfortunately we tend to get those. Look at this. Look at this sorrel. Is that amazing? That's hibiscus. Look at that. You see that in the inside of that flower? This is hibiscus flowers, and they're edible. Taste delicious. Tastes like cranberries. But in the middle of those things are the place where the seeds are, but the thing that surrounds the seeds, the little calyx bud thing, is full of pectin. And if you've ever made jams or preserves or preserved things that you want to have jelly-like, pectin is key resource in that. So the roselle jam is easy to make because you just cook the flour, and it comes out like cranberry sauce every time. It's incredibly delicious. Yeah, so the banana grove is expanding, and I would love to get some pink varieties in here. I'm now up to 5 varieties of bananas on this, but this is a fairly new bed. If you look at the channel, I'd really only started on this endeavor maybe 2 years ago, if that. And then this whole corner was just a forgotten corner, and I like to think I incorporated the permaculture principle of using edge spaces. That's one of the principles of permaculture. Utilize edge spaces, and there's a lot of qualities to edge spaces up against fences like this that you can really use to your advantage. One is, this is the southern end of my yard, so consider the shade potential. The shade line will be really far in this time of year, but now it's moving slowly out, and by wintertime it'll be way out. So you get that, that effect that you can utilize. Also as wind protection, as cold. Here, we're in zone 10A here. And it's actually kind of interesting if you look at the zones in Florida, they extend up the coast very far, but not inland. So we are, since we're right on the coast, we get that benefit of being surrounded by water, which regulates the temperature much more effectively and prevents it from getting cold for very, very long at all. But we're right on the northern edge here, so we can get some days that will get cold, and you may be in an area of Florida that gets, a decent amount of cold days, meaning, more than just a few. And so utilizing breaks that can break up especially the north winds, but break up the winds in general, I found helps a lot with keeping those plants from getting burned too badly. But look at this. Man, doesn't it look lush? I'm pretty impressed with it. You got to utilize your brakes or make your brakes, wind brakes. And this way is the Atlantic Ocean, and we get consistent east wind. And so to mitigate that, what I've done is grown a tremendous Dracaena, all from cuttings, by the way. These are all from cuttings. Didn't buy any of these plants. And I use these very salt-tolerant shrubs as a wall right there. And then they produce a lot of chop and drop now, too. Look at this Persian mulberry, too. Holy mackerel. You can see we had some caterpillar time. But that's all right. The caterpillars came and did their damage, but I think we got every one of them and fed them alive to the chickens. So they paid a high price for their violation of that mulberry tree. Oh, wow. No kidding. Wow. Moving from A to A to 8B, just like that. Now, this pineapple setup is starting to show some encouragement. These two are older. I was thinking of just yucking them out because they weren't doing too well, but they've got the serrated edge. That's more indicative of the wild pineapple, but don't know where I got those. But most of them will have that nice smooth edge. This is kind of getting the grocery store. Uh-oh, this one doesn't look like it's doing too well. Well, that might be a goner. I almost think this tower watering system will give them too much water, but we'll see. Yeah, 2 levels, 2 varieties of bananas. This is a great way to grow bananas. 2-story banana setup. You got the Cavendish, the dwarf Cavendish here. Setting up some beautiful bananas. And then the Musa. Musa's looking really good. I've been focusing on watering this banana clump quite a bit to make sure it gets enough water to grow big fat bananas. And one of the problems with growing bananas is having so many bananas, it can be difficult to even deal with them all. That's a good problem. That's the right kind of problem to have. So what I got this year was a dehydrator that's capable of dehydrating quantity. And so I've been dehydrating fruit like crazy, mostly fruit I bought from the grocery store, but definitely mangoes, dried mangoes galore. Incredible way to process mangoes because you get so many mangoes. I wasn't prepared to deal with them this year because I just started with the vermiculture deal, and my production shot up to like 4 times as high as it ever was. So it kind of got away from me. But next year, holy moly, stay tuned. I'm going to have a network set up so that I can turn these mangoes into usable things in the yard. And that's another permaculture principle that I'm leveraging quite a bit, which is to take the output of your yard and turn it into return that you need. Like I can use grain, I need hay, I need several things now that I can trade for. I can also start trading for eggs as well, but they're worth a lot less. But holy moly, they're worth a lot to me. And let me say a little something about these eggs. All right, so I do intermittent fasting. That's one of the things I like to do in the mornings. Typically, I don't eat anything until in the evening, sometimes until 6 or 8 o'clock at night. And I eat for a very short period of time, and then whatever. But I'll eat. That's not including if I walk around and eat fruit in my yard, I don't count that. Whatever. So vegetables, I don't count. But that leaves me with a very empty stomach in the morning. So the first all day. So the first food that I taste really affects me. I can really feel the effect of the food, which sounds kind of weird to say. Okay, long story. Hey, Big Dave. Yes, I do drink coffee in the morning. I actually drink, I've found, and by the way, I think you can optimize the use of supplements like caffeine very effectively if you just track it. I drink typically 24 ounces of Dunkin' Donuts unsweetened cold coffee every day. And I find that to be the right, and I drink that before noon because the half-life of caffeine is 12 hours. So if you want to be able to sleep and not have it affect your sleep in any way, you're usually pretty good if you stop by noon. But anyway, yeah, so I have an empty stomach. Okay, the reason I told that story was to point out that I've been frying the eggs that I got from my little hens, and the energy boost that I get from those eggs is unlike anything I've ever eaten. Could be placebo effect, could just be my mind making that happen. I'm totally fine with that, by the way, if that's the case. I'll take it, because the energy level that it gave me, and it could be that it's just the protein. My son was telling me there's some kind of difference in the proteins that you get from eggs and so on and so forth, and had their ability to quickly deliver, that energy to your body, etc. But man, did I feel it. I have had that effect before. Like I had that effect one time when I took some probiotics. I had a crazy pleasurable feeling afterwards from taking probiotics. I've had that several times. Yeah, bizarre. But anyway, that's what happened. Those eggs have been, now I kind of see those eggs as a real treasure. That I know I can, especially on an empty stomach, eat a few of those eggs and just be powered on for going out and exercising or doing whatever else I need to do with the day. So I'm stoked about that. In other words, I'm enjoying these hens way, way more than I ever would have imagined. And that's super cool. And I can't believe how bountiful this yard is becoming. I have a neighbor who's struggling to grow anything in his yard, just getting started, which I think is exactly where I was 20 years ago. And just, this is the product of a long evolution, and it's so satisfying to me now to have, finally, to complete the picture in some way, which is to have the animal component accounted for, to have a real diversity in the output, to have it integrated into your life in ways that enhance your life and bring in novelty. I mean, I'll give you an example of how one of the cool things that happened this year was that I reached out to some small farms and encountered all kinds of cool stuff that way, but was able to trade for mead and honey and all kinds of things, and plugged into ideas which are more valuable than mead or honey, of permaculture that I just had been neglecting, and forced me to look at what I have here and make a few simple changes, which I did, and the benefits just rapidly go into full effect. And I do believe one more mango tree is needed. This is my new mango tree. Look at this beauty. Whoo-hoo! You'll never believe where I got this thing. Oh, drinking raw eggs? I love the idea of drinking raw eggs, but I won't do it just because I'm too worried about salmonella. I would actually, in my way of thinking, the best way to have breakfast would just be to crack 3 eggs in a glass and just chug it right down and be done with it, and then get on with the day. So, yeah, that really appeals to me. And I was interested in that, finding the fastest way to get these eggs turned into usable protein that I could just choke down and then run out surfing. Not that I have to choke it down, I just mean like quickly eat it. It was delicious. But in the process, I actually tried to cook the eggs in a cup, and it exploded in the microwave. Yeah, which is lost an egg that way. Just one though, thankfully. Here's the mango tree I got. Malacca mango, Mangifera indica, and it's one of these mangoes that they call patio mangoes. I've heard of patio mangoes before. They're just varieties of small growing trees. They claim 10 feet tall by 8 feet wide, and that, you know, it's gonna die if it gets too cold. But it likes full sun, so I planted it in full sun. Oh boy, is that an egg? Did an egg just get... Oh, I think that's an egg. But they say it has disease resistance, superb flavor, but small, but it's extremely productive. That sounds a lot like the Tommy Atkins to me, which, you know, I was sold on it. And they say to fertilize it frequently, which is certainly going to happen to it here. And they've got numbers and so on and so forth. But I'm going to say one of the last pieces I need to add to my yard is the addition of micronutrients. And I've done that. I bought the micronutrients. I know they're one. And oh, the Glen Mango, Big Wave Dave. Oh, the Glen Mango is so incredible. Yeah, I've got a Edward Mango here. Has not produced much, but we're going to keep believing in it. I've got it. Well, I think the micronutrients are going to be what turns the outer one around after all these years, but the micronutrients are just the type of slow release granular teaspoon of stuff to sprinkle around it every once in a while. I think it lasts about 9 months, and it fills in the gaps. So everything that they need, they're going to get from the animal component that I've got back in the bunny run, from the manure, the composted chicken manure, etc. But to fill in the last bit of gaps of what they could possibly need, I think the tablespoon of that micronutrient stuff is going to do it. Hey, Jack. I think I just heard the chickens lay an egg. Yeah, so I'm stoked on this mango tree. Put it right here so it's going to get full southern exposure. It's got lots of sunlight potential. This longan tree that is going to be it's going to be taken down to about this level soon. I've got to process that. The only reason I'm waiting on doing that, and that'll open up shaded areas back in here. It'll be great. I thought I heard we're laying one. Okay. Yeah, that was a distinct egg laying sound. Whoa, we got multiple hens in multiple locations.
Are they gonna lay an egg?
We're interrupting her privacy. Okay. Well, let me get... Hold on. That's such classic. Look at that.
Oh yeah, she was on an egg. That's pearly white.
There you go. Thank you.
The real question is, will she move?
There you go. We're all during the live stream. We have produced eggs. Yeah, we'll just let her do her thing. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure, really, that this is only the Rhode Island Red hybrids. The Golden Girls.
Super warm.
Just came out. Still wet. Oh, God. Oh, man, look at that thing. Nice. That's a beaut. You're taking that egg right away. No broody time even possible. Let's see that little thing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, we got the question, Jack. Do we plan on eating a chicken one day? Not sure. We're not going to commit. No, we're not going to eat these chickens. These are pet chickens. So, you know, the whole eating pets thing, kind of a bummer. But I'd like to think if we need to, you know, we would.
On the racking side.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we got an egg, FIFO egg thing, a spiral. So yeah, put it on the top.
Of the last one.
Yeah, the top, and then you take the one at the bottom every time. That way you take the oldest egg. And they say actually if you let the eggs sit for a week or so, you know, it's better for making hard-boiled eggs or whatever, but because the shells don't stick to the egg as much. But that's really cool. The chickens, you see, okay, so we're establishing a pattern here. You know, they've only been laying eggs for, I guess it's been more like, I don't know, less than a week. And I want to utilize another principle of permaculture, which I love, which is to observe and interact. So you observe the patterns and you interact with them and you modify them as needed to make them, look at, she's peering around the edge. Oh, look at that. These chickens are so incredibly tame. They really are. They'll let you, they don't run away when you go to pick them up. You can pick them up one-handed. They're really mellow. Oh, that sounds like a chicken laying an egg. The good news is they don't produce these sounds all day long, just during the egg laying session. I have never tried saw palmetto fruit, no. I hear that it's got some additional qualities, Palm Nation. The saw palmetto. I've seen it sold. Okay, well, welcome aboard, Black's Tropicals. Stoked you're here. Dude, leave a comment down in the thing, down in the video as well. I'm already intrigued by the name of your channel. I like tropical things. Oh, I figured out how to run this live stream chat thing. I just touched the screen and I can see all the comments. See, there's just user error. Look at these girls just lined up and ready. All right. We were going to buy a chicken. We're going to buy a chicken sign to put on here. And Jack liked the one that said "Caution, small raptors." She's a dinosaur. She's a sea monster. Grown tropical fruit in Savannah, Georgia. Most excellent. I love Savannah, Georgia. Georgia in general, but that's really cool. Yeah, Savannah especially because it's a coastal environment so far in. What's that? Oh, I know. That's the thing. I think that these Rhode Island Reds, they have a much more developed crown than the Barred Rocks, and it seems like maybe that correlates with their egg laying time, you know? Because even though the Barred Rocks are bigger, they've got these small crowns, but I've seen the pictures of the Barred Rocks that are like really ornate, big crowns. So I think they just are a little bit slower chicken, even though they're bigger. They just mature more slowly. That's the theory. See if it's true. One thing's for sure, they say that these little golden girls, they just live to be 2.5 years old, which is a very short time to have these girls, but it also gives you the really cool thing of being able to get new chickens, you know, because I can only have so many chickens. So they're going to have a fantastic life. We'll get some new ones. This is Blondie, and Blondie is very, very friendly. It's probably our most friendly chicken, just loves to be around us. You can tell. The fluffy butt girls, very nice. They all have big crowns, even the Easter eggers. Oh, wow, that's cool. So you have Easter egger birds. Yeah, I know. I think there's probably only two ways to go with chickens, and that is to absolutely love the experience of having them, or just not. But I don't know if there's a middle ground. I was at Tractor Supply about a week ago, and they had those Easter eggers, and they had a couple barred rocks. They had a rooster, barred rock rooster. How'd you know the barred rock rooster? The dot on its head, yeah. But of course they all have that like lighter area on their head, so it's kind of tricky. But there's a rooster. They had the Easter eggers. They had also the astrolorps, I believe, australorps. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. So many varieties of chickens. We picked our chickens just 100% for reviews of, well, first of all, that they don't mind being in a coop, that they're comfortable being cooped, and that they are very docile, meaning that they're very just relaxed, chill, good pet birds, that they produced a good amount of eggs. Yeah, and that they can do okay with the climate that we have here, which is very much like Georgia, except for not as cold, but super hot for a long period of time. Everything I did to deal with these chickens too was, oh wow, that's cool. Starlight green eggers.
Look at that one waddle.
She has the coolest looking waddles out of our collection. It looks like, oh, there we go. Looks like Black's Tropical Homestead has serious, awesome chicken situation going. Chicken math got real for us. Yeah, I know. I was cautioned by my wife that, you know, if I get one more chicken, I have to sleep outside. So I don't, nah, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. I'm just kidding. No, but no more chickens. Yeah, but no, legally I'm really not allowed to get more chickens, even though every time I go to Tractor Supply, I want to get more chickens. Yeah, just because they're so fun. What a treat. So is there a second egg up there? Is this all the chickens down here? What's our chicken math? Or is there still...
No, there's one up there.
One up there.
I'm pretty sure it's Chicken Joe.
Chicken Joe.
Trying to name down him, so Chicken Joe went in.
Hey, you. This is where you like to be. Funny thing is, she'll fly over the cage, and then I'll hear her clucking at the back door.
She just wants attention.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I think she really likes the attention. That's what they say. I read some reports of these birds, these particular varieties, being excellent lap chickens when they reach teenage chicken years, which, if you're going to live to be 2.5 years old, I suppose that would be like in about 5 or 6 months. Maybe. Savannah, Tennessee Tractor Supply. Shout out to Savannah, Tennessee Tractor Supply. Oh, the fluffy butt. We're really disturbing her privacy today.
Oh, it's a different chicken.
It's a different chicken?
Before, yeah.
No kidding. I wonder if there's two, and I bet you. Okay, we're gonna have verifiable evidence now. Yeah, she's like, come on, let me lay my egg in peace. I gotta concentrate here. This is the Zen art of egg laying. Don't press it. There you go.
Look, she stops when you close the door.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go check out your channel there. Wow, okay. Issa Browns, 5 to 6 months old, and they like sitting in your lap. Well, that's my kind of chicken. We like the affectionate chickens. Here's the old Barred Rock, the American classic. Have I heard of the Battle of Shiloh? Of course I've heard of the Battle of Shiloh. And one of my favorite things in the world is Civil War history. history in general, but I find it to be incredibly interesting. Yes, sir. All right, look at this. These guys date all the way back to the Civil War and prior. Yeah, barred rocks, named Plymouth Rock, all the way back to the beginnings of America, really. But, you know, this is such an iconic bird, the barred rock. They have them on feed bags and everything. But, yeah, you don't really get many points for chicken variety with the barred rock, but you do get a reliable bird, which is kind of cool. We had a barred rock rooster, which I absolutely loved. Sirius Black was his name. He had a great fun existence while here. We gave him away to a local farm. But what a cool rooster that was. But not allowed to have roosters. But you can see how mellow they are. Yeah, Blacks was saying that they have leghorns.
She squats down a lot.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, she does. These birds all now, as we come up on them, they'll get down in that mounting position. So because they're convinced we're their rooster. Oh, you're a honker, aren't you? Look at your little crown. Look at your little crown. It's getting a little bigger, a little bigger. And the wattles are a little smaller too. Very interesting. Such a fluffy bird. See, make her honk.
Honking spot.
That's the honker. Yeah, it took a little longer for these barred rocks to be comfortable laying on their back. Oh, that's cool. Wow, you're living in a really cool part of the country. I'm curious about the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. I hiked a lot on the Appalachian Trail as a kid, but up in the Northeast. And know there are some of the best stretches of the Appalachian Trail exist in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. And maybe North Carolina. Boy, the barred patterning. She squats down. The barred patterning is really getting beautiful now. I've seen the pictures of these hens where they have very big tail feathers too, it seems like. So she's got a ways to go. She's still mini chicken.
She pecked at my thumb because I was holding her breath. I'm jumping.
There's no jungles and swamps. The swamplands of Tennessee. Got a honk. You know where she wants to go? She wants to go on the bunny run. That's where the sweetest grass is.
Right there.
I think the bunny manure makes the grass taste better. All right. That's a mango tree, yeah. Threw one of the ones from the composter in there. All right, let's get one of these bunnies out. You can see this lion head female bunny here, Penelope, is really growing in that beard. See how long the fur is on her cheeks? Isn't that cute? She likes that lemongrass. This has become one of her favorite places to just come and chow down. Uh-oh. Oh man, that's a chicken revolt.
She already laid an egg. She already laid an egg. She already laid an egg.
Go in there and see if you can calm her down. Wow, I wonder why she's freaking out so much. What the? Gee whiz. Is she just announcing to the world that she's laid an egg? And this time she's not giving it up and she means it. Gee whiz. We got one loud one, I guess. That's no good.
Bring Chicken Joe out. Maybe she'll be better. Bring her out.
Yeah. Oh, a second egg.
You want me to go put it in there too?
Let's see how that one came out. That was what we paid the price of all that cackling. We're gonna have to give these some eggs to our neighbors if she keeps doing that.
Yeah. I was just rubbing her feather back and forth. And
That's a pretty nice looking egg though. And who laid that one?
Chicken Joe,
Chicken Joe.
I think. Cause
That's a beauty.
do you want me to go put it in there?
Yeah, you can go put it in.
You want me to close the door? I don't know.
Oh no, yeah, you can close the door. That way she doesn't get away. That was so funny. Those chickens observe and interact, right? What do you think, Penelope? I don't approve. This is how chickens get sent to freezer camp.
Chicken Joe. I think she just wanted some grass.
She wanted out. She said, I produced.
Besting.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, Palm Nation says that you're about to have an egg-nado on your hands. I think you're right, man. I think you're absolutely right. We're about to have an egg-nado. Hey, Palm Nation, have you seen that be typical with chickens to do that amount of cluckery post-egg laying? Or I don't know. Curious. Oh, look at this sweet bunny. Holy moly. Seen worse? Okay. Well, that's not too bad. guess on the range of chicken cackling, it's not too bad. As long as they don't do it all day long. I mean, it's one thing if it's just during egg time, and I've only seen it during egg time. You know, after all, that's egg time. This rabbit loves the lemongrass. She loves everything about it. Just loves to rub her lips along the edge of it, the whole nine. I think this lemongrass is super nutritious for these rabbits too. The fact that they get a lot of fresh vegetable matter right off the plant directly. Yeah, to get out the 12 gauge and reduce the noise level. Yep, that's always an option. Look at this.
I got the noisemaker.
You got the noisemaker still making noise?
No. Just one off again. Dig it.
She just got done eating some lemongrass, and now she's gonna dig a little hole. You know, one incredible way to get protein is to raise meat rabbits. But since rabbits are so beloved in this country and associated with cartoon characters, you know, I think it's not that common. But yeah, we may get a meat rabbit. Oh yeah, fresh rabbit, wild rabbit.
She got my bread.
Oh, she's got bread on her back. This is a special variety of chicken. It actually grows the toast that you put with your eggs. Thank you. Yeah, that's very nice. Well, I think one thing's clear. No chicken is going to win the Nobel Prize. That's a toaster chicken. That comes, hey, put another slice of bread under it and you have a chicken sandwich. Yeah, she is a pretty bunny. No doubt about it. How's Thumptonian doing? You want to bring him out? Nah. We'll bring him out later.
She's out. Oh, she's doing this.
Eat another cow's horn.
She was in the nesting box and then that. And then she started.
Oh, did you trigger the cackling?
Yes, I did.
Oh, no way. That was a Jack triggered cackle fest. So did you go in there while she was laying an egg and touch her?
No, she was already out. I was trying to move her to the cage.
Oh, you were trying to move her away from the egg. She got broody a little. Oh, that explains it. Okay. Well, that's actually better because, yeah, we'll know not to do that. We don't want to encourage them to get broody. Yeah, oh yeah, there's Cackle Fest 2022. It's already been scheduled. Pretty stoked on this red sugar cane. I was looking actually at varieties of sugar cane. There's a type of Louisiana commercial sugar cane that you could buy online. I'd like to get a few more varieties. I was thinking about starting up a sugar cane grove again, maybe sell some cuttings, type of thing. Like that pigeon pea? We call this bunny therapy, but you can just come back here and watch the bunnies. Actually, think you're right. There's no way I could ever have a goat here because they're way too loud. I would love to have a goat though, even though they're bizarre. But not allowed to have a goat. Oh yeah, goats will eat everything. No doubt. That's one of the things I love the most about a goat is it's just a walking disposal system. All right, Bunnytopia. Let's get the bunny. Let's see if I can capture the bunny. Move this way. The bunny. There you go. Get some petting time. The female is much bigger than the male lion head in our case. They have been handled so much ever since they were tiny that they're just, I think, about as tame as a rabbit can be. But I've seen some rabbits on the internet that were just, I guess, raised inside, like practically like pets, but I mean practically like cats in a way. Yeah, that's right. Let's be honest, they're just an athletic guinea pig. I think you're right. Yeah, it's amazing they're not rodents. Really, it is. But one thing that clearly makes them not rodents is the fact that they are so clean. I mean, this bunny has almost no smell and is 100% vegetarian. Oh, you know when I do that, I can feel the bunny purr, which is like their teeth vibrate together a little bit. Yeah, she likes that. Since these bunnies are related to cashmere bunnies, they're actually that's the gene that gives them all this fuzz. They are just incredibly soft. And Penelope's getting big. I mean, she's like getting actually, I think might be getting fat, but I just can't tell for sure. Oh, wow. She's in a highly happy state right now. Yep, built this bunny bench. Pretty happy with this design. Oh, interesting. Squirrels are clean. I didn't realize. We certainly have plenty of those. Yeah, I've never had a squirrel. Everybody says they're really good. Yeah, these bunnies have just been an incredible resource. They really are the linchpin in this whole system. They produce so much manure that everything can be constantly rocking. Wow, like pork. Yeah, despite the fact that she's up on the thing, I really don't think she would jump. She'll sit here and eat the lemongrass. Yeah, it's crazy house out there. Look at this, you got your mohawk. She's just gonna eat the, I should put her up here to eat the grass away from the edge of the bench. Well, okay, I think we're gonna get on to the rest of our day. I appreciate everybody jumping on the stream. Thank you, it's fun. Hope you enjoyed the update. I sure did. We got to take part in Cackle Fest 2021. We got to see fresh eggs. We practically saw one drop out of the hen itself. I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, just anytime you go to Amazon for stuff, if you do that, then just click on any link to Amazon from the descriptions in these videos, and then those are affiliate links, which all that means is we get a small amount of funding from it, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So super easy. Hey, appreciate it. Black's Tropical, definitely going to check out your YouTube channel. Can't wait. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard.